Okay, in this post, we're going to get into launch angle, and we're not going to break down mechanics. We're not going to talk too much about spin rates or anything like that. And I know that Verlander has a great spin rate, and that's what keeps the ball elevated longer, and that's part of the reason why you're going to see some of these things happening that are happening. Cody Bellinger is probably the poster child, or definitely one of those guys when it comes to the launch angle concept of swinging up in order to hit more fly balls. But we're going to kind of dive into the actual numbers of that and see what happens in real life, not in theory. When you swing up at a ball that's flat, and Verlander throws a lot of fastballs that are elevated, and we'll take a look at the dynamics of that fastball. But in just this one game, you see all of these foul tips and swings and misses that are all based on one simple concept. The fastball at the top of the zone is flatter, and the swing line is severely up. So what you're seeing here is actually a lot of things. We're not going to get into the mechanics of anything other than the ball flight for today. So here comes the pitch. The pitch is going to be at about 4 or 5 degrees downward. The swing line is going to be about 20 degrees or so upward. So when you put those two things together, a flat fastball and an uppercut, there's only one moment in time where the bat actually crosses the line of the pitch. If he were to hit it here, he'd foul it straight back. So he's that much late. In this case, he is this much late because the ball's all the way back here, and his perception of where that ball's at is all the way up there. So he's off by that amount. It looks like it's about a little bit over 3 feet. We can look at it based on the length of his bat if you just take a rough estimate, and none of these are actually accurate, but they'll give you a decent idea in time and space. So if you look at that, that's the length of his bat. So he's at least 33 or 34 inches, depending on what length bat he has, late on that particular pitch. So that's the dynamic of what happens on this swing up to try to hit more fly balls. So what happens if he hits that ball perfect? If he hits that ball absolutely perfect on time, 100% on time, then he's going to hit it in the same exact line that he's swinging on, which is 20 degrees, roughly. Okay, so what happens when he's a little bit early? He catches the top of that and hits it down to some degree or another. He might hit it straight down like a dribbler, which he does fairly often at low exit velocities. He might hit it a little less straight down, but still down, which he does a lot because his exit velocity average is about 85, 86. And then he can hit a ball that he tops, that he just barely misses, and that one's going to end up being harder ground ball. And all of those are possible with the swing line. In fact, all of these are possible. And some of these we've seen, the ones where he goes straight back. So the more up you go at a pitch that's flat, the more possibilities of the range of where all of the balls are going to go to. And they should actually include the ones that are swung on and missed, because that's part of designing a great swing approach, because the swing and miss is rampant right now. Homers are through the roof, but so are strikeouts. And to me, in an ideal world, you don't have to give up hitting the ball solid in order to hit homers. It doesn't work like that. So at the end of the day, there's only 3 possibilities of things that can happen if he actually makes contact. 1, hits it perfect. Okay. 2, he gets underneath it and hits it some degree of a pop-up or a fly ball, or a foul ball. And then if he tops it, then it can be anywhere from a topped foul ball all the way to a 4-hopper or to a 3-hopper, or to even a ball that he tops with a lot of topspin that has a little bit of exit velocity. The closer he gets to this perfect line that he's on, the harder his exit velocity will be, period. In other words, if he's within 10 degrees one way or the other of that swing line right there, those are the highest exit speeds. And that's not really arguable. That's always going to be the case. Anything within 10 degrees of that swing line is where his highest exit speeds will be. And when you look at him, that's what you'll see in his breakdown. We'll take a look at the data to kind of show you that also. But those are the possibilities of what happens. So everyone has to decide how much up am I going to go in order to create the ideal swing line? The only question I would have right now is, does this work against somebody like Justin Verlander? And I'm going to say, I don't think so. That's one of the reasons why Verlander's having so much success buying into the EV concept several years ago and making a huge turnaround, focusing on trying to keep the fastball flatter so that this idea of swinging up at it has very little to no success because the timing has to be perfect.